Good afternoon and welcome to More Meets the Eye. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and my co-host, Cream the Cat, is sleeping. Do you want to say anything to the audience, Cream? Huh? Oh, you're just upset that I woke you up? I messed up your dream time? Huh? Yeah? Hi. So today we're going to be talking about a 1/12 scale owlbear from the Dungeons & Dragons Golden Archive Collection. And before we get into it, please go below and do all the things everyone else asks you to do and leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. Ask me anything. I'm here to help. I'm here to raise awareness for the blind through alternative means and methods, including two, but not limited to, answering questions in the comments section. So ask away. I'm hopefully I can illuminate some people on blindness and things like that. It's a lot of fun making this channel. I've had a blast doing it. I've met some really cool people through the comments and in real life, and it's just moving along at a steady pace. We're well on our way to having the goal of 2,000 subscribers by January 23rd. I think we can do it. We're above 1,600 now. That means there's only 400 left to go, and we can do it. I believe in this channel. I mean, I've always believed in this channel. It's one of the things that I strive to believe in, is this channel and its growth of the 5-year plan to make this channel a success. And thank you all to everyone who subscribed and watched this stuff, because you're helping me make this channel a success. So 2 thumbs up go to all of you out there. I really appreciate you for all the help and assistance you've done. Now, let's get into the owlbear, a figure I never expected to ever have in my life. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of owlbears, but I've always been curious. You see a lot of artwork about owlbears and stuff, but, there's a difference between seeing a painting of something, because I wasn't always blind, and actually having something in hand to do references to. And I'm not talking the tiny pewter metal little D&D figurines. I mean something that's articulated, and that's what this is. This is a big old articulated owlbear, and he is huge. So if we straighten his legs up, because they like to measure them with their legs straight for some reason, even though he does not like to stand with straightened legs, and his joints are tight. They are very tight because he is a big boy and he needs a lot of sturdiness. So we're getting him to his full and complete height. Here we go. Lowering your arms down to the sides. He has got some wide shoulders. Okay, now I'm going to have to hold him in one hand because he does not like standing straight up. He is a bit top heavy, and we're going to get into that. But I've brought out the terrible retro Cobra Trooper. We're just going to let you lay down so I can remove this base plate from the bottom of the terrible Cobra Trooper. Okay, so let's go ahead and compare them. We're going to put the Cobra Trooper behind him. We're going to put them back to back. And we get that the Cobra Trooper's head, the retro Cobra Trooper's head, goes to midway up the back of the owlbear. In the front, the owlbear and the Cobra Trooper. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, that's wild. I wonder. We're gonna do a little experiment real quick. So let's go ahead and put the Cobra Trooper off to the side, and let's get this guy's knees bent so that he's no longer trying to fall on me. He's a bear, and bears don't really like standing straight up and down without having some extra support in their knees. There we go. You get him kind of in a squatting position, and he stands a lot better. He stands a lot better. This is huge. He's a big boy. And then his arms make everything a little more difficult. We can move his core back just a slight bit, and there we go. Okay, so now that he's standing good and solid, let's take a look and compare him now that he's squatted down a bit. And yeah, instead of it going midway up the chest, the top of the Cobra Trooper's head goes up to the neck. Now let's go ahead and... No! Yeah. Okay. I am a little upset that the beak isn't articulated. I'm like, seriously? You couldn't have put a little hinge in there to allow the beak to open and close? But let's go ahead and compare the beak size. Now, if this was a real-life owlbear fighting a Cobra Trooper, he could consume your entire hand. Look at that. A Cobra Trooper could put his entire fist in there, and that is a big mouth. And yeah, I wish that this was articulated so you could do things like actually like pinch it down to hold on a bit more, so that you could pose these guys in some action poses like that. Owlbear's just about to rip the the arm off of that Cobra Trooper. And one final comparison, we've got the owlbear's hand here, and it's in like a C clamp. So we can take the Cobra Trooper, raise his arm up above his head, and I'll just let the guy fall for a second as I get this set up. Okay. Now, the owlbear's hand is so large that the Cobra Trooper's arm can just fly in and out of that. So that's not going to work for what we're doing. Instead, let's go ahead and raise up that other arm. There we are. Now let's take your leg. Let's see if we can get his leg in there. And let's see. Yeah. Now I got it into the hand. Okay. So now I like to compare things like this and showcase what you actually can do with the figure. For your own collection, maybe you're doing some battle scenes or something, and you're like, I really would like a big monster here. There we go. Now, if we can just get him to lean back a bit further, raise your other arm up above your head, like you are about to come around and rip this guy apart. Lean back a bit further, man. Okay, there we go. And lean over here. There we are. Okay, just a bit like that. Okay, widen your stance just a bit more, sir. Now let's get it centered. That's pretty good, okay? I'm going to say that's awesome. I like that. You can pose your owlbear about to rip into some Cobra Troopers, you know? I think that is really fun, and that's one of the major reasons to get this figure is for fun diorama scenes like this, where he's got the Cobra Trooper by the thigh, and he's just about, he's flinging him up. And on the other hand, he's got his hand open. He's about to come around and just grab the Cobra Trooper like by the neck or something. Just to finish this move off, he comes around here and he grabs him around the head. There we are. And then his helmet falls. Oh no! Yeah, that's pretty good. Wow, that's pretty good. That's neat. Yeah. So that's the might of the owlbear. He just plays with a 1/12 scale action figure like it's a toy. Let's go ahead and squeeze your leg back out. The best way to do this leg thing, if you can't see, is to slide it around and try to get that boot edge around the fingers. There it goes. And yeah, you just put the leg in at a thinner point, and then you bring it up to the thigh where he can hold on to it good and steady. Let's go ahead and lower those arms. You still held on to your gun. I'm so proud of you. Even though your gun is a piece of rubbery garbage, I am proud of you, Mr. Cobra. Retro Cobra Trooper, the worst Cobra Trooper. Let's go ahead and put this helmet back on him. And I say that because I'm not collecting G.I. Joe Classified to get the exact look and feel of the old Joes. I don't care about them. I mean, there's plenty of people out there that do, and to those people, you like what you like. But I like the G.I. Joe Classified look and feel, the extra armor, the stuff that made it feel more of a real American hero things. Or I guess it's now worldwide hero. I don't know, but I don't like the retro as much as I like the others. So let's get into the articulation for this guy and talk about him in depth. Okay, so first off, coming down here to his foot, we've got a feet that can move slightly back and forth. There's no ankle tilt, and they don't rotate very much. They do rotate a bit. There is slight ankle tilt there, but there's not a lot of movement capable in the feet, and that's just because his core is so heavy. I wish they had made his legs a bit thicker and maybe put some of that weight from his core into his legs. I don't know, use a denser plastic for the lower legs to kind of assist in stabilizing this guy. Anyway, his knee is a single jointed guy, and that's good. It's also a really tough ratchet. And I say it's good because you need a single jointed knee for the weight of this owlbear. He's a heavy dude, and he's also a top heavy dude. Do the balance test. Look at that. I gotta use 2 fingers. No. Yeah, he doesn't balance well. Okay, so now the sculpt work on this guy is really cool because this is an owlbear, which means he's got hair and feathers, and you can kind of feel he's got hairy legs. He's got hairy bear legs. And you can also, is that a feather in there amongst those? Or all of these feathers that are, swatted down? I don't know. I've never come across a good depiction of an owlbear. So these may be feathers, or this may be hair on his legs. And we come up here to his core area and around his thigh, and we get more feather textures. So the legs feel a lot like fur and feathers mixed together. But you come up here to his core, and like his belly area all the way down are these feathers that are very nice feeling. Really well sculpted feather going on here. He's got that nice feathered hair. He must be from an 80s action movie. Let's come around here to the back, and we've got feathers that come all the way up his back. And I love the little owlbear tail that has feathers on it. It's a little owlbear tail, and it's got little feathers. It's just it's fun. Okay, this is a fun action figure. The sculpt work is immaculate. The molding on this guy is superb. It's feathers all the way around, and every one of them feels like they're just slightly different than the other one. It feels nice in the hand. Coming up here, he's got these little shoulder pauldrons, which are more feathers because it's supposed to be kind of an organic look. And if these things weren't there, you'd see this big joint in there, and that's not fun. So they put that little piece there to make him feel more organic, and I do agree with it. I think it does make him feel more organic. Now, the those pauldrons do feel like more feathers, and they're even raised up on the edges to be feathers, and I like that. It's just more feathers. He's got so many feathers, and I just wish they had given like a different paint or something to make it feel like feathers. I mean, it's good. It feels good, but maybe added that little extra feathering to it. Oh, used a different type of paint or flat or something like that to give it a more texture, or maybe just I don't know. But it feels really good. Coming over here to the arm, we've got another. So at the I forgot to mention, at the shoulder, we can raise him up 90 degrees. Actually, can we raise him up further? We can, but we risk damaging that really fun feathery pauldron. So don't do that. 90 degrees only. 360 degrees at the shoulder. But good God, this is a thick shoulder. He doesn't want to spin all the way around because of the sculpting that's overflowing on the sides. So you can't get 360 degrees as a full spin, but you can by just moving it back and forth. Now that's the arm there. It's pretty good. Is there a upper arm swivel? No, but there is a butterfly. Ooh, look at that butterfly. Ooh, that's a front butterfly. That's nice. And then on here on the arms, we've got a single jointed elbow, which once again, if you use him to carry other action figures, the single jointed elbow is tough. So that will mean that your action figures are a bit more sturdy. So that's good. I like the fact that works. And also, I love what they did here with the feathering on the elbow. So they set it up so that the forearm feathers and the upper arm feathers are just slightly off from one another. So, and these forearm feathers are also connected to the swivel, because there's a swivel at the bicep. Now, when you were to you close these feathers up, they come up at the wrong angle. But if you were to rotate that so they mesh, it does kind of mesh with the upper arm feathers. And I like that. I like that way of meshing, instead of it just being these feathers ending and these feathers ending right at the joint, so that when you do the joint like that, you get this huge gap. Instead, they allowed overhang on the feathers on the forearm, which means that when you bend the arm 180 degrees, you can actually line all the feathers up. And that is an attention to detail that I appreciate here on my channel. That's cool. That works out very well. It doesn't break the feel of this thing up. And then, of course, you can always just close it up, and the feathers stay close together to allow him to still kind of look like he's got, there's no break in that. And that's nice. I love it. I love how they designed those feathers on his arms. And those feathers on his arms are pretty cool. They're also about a thumb thickness away from the back of the arm. And that's really neat. So far, you're kind of, the best way I can describe this is a grizzly bear standing up, but instead of fur, he's got feathers. And on his arms, he's got these wing feathers that come off from the back of his arms and go all the way down to his hand. And it's just really odd. And the hands are big claw things. They got 1, 2, 3, 4 claws. They really feel more like the talons of a bird than the paws of a bear, especially with these long claws they have. And that's really cool. That is really cool. Can you hold on to my finger? Oh, look, he's holding on to my finger. Uh, and now we come up here to his head, and his head has multiple parts to it. So he's got this big neck that's got these feathers that run down the back. They're really cool because they can move around. The neck can actually spin around pretty good, and that will allow for the feathers on the back to just kind of seem more organic as it moves around. The head itself is actually kind of it's flat. It's not a big round head like you would expect, but it comes. They have these feathers that come off to the sides, and they fold over the neck feathers to give him a complex feather system, which I appreciate. And his head moves 360 degrees. You can be exorcist with the head, and then you can move his head up. You can move his head down, and that's about it for his head. He can look around, but the real fun part of him comes from this core area, which I'm about to talk about. He's got a ball set. He's got a ball in his core. It's a ball joint, so he can like lean over really far. He can lean over here really far. Really neat. He can lean back decently well. He can lean forwards really well. Like he can really lean forwards and then look down, so he can come over here and pretend to be a ring wraith. And I smell hobbitses somewhere. You can do that if you want. So that's the owlbear. Let's talk about his accessories. He comes with two, which are his hands. Let's go ahead and get these hands out of here. Come here, hands. Oh, they are difficult. I won't lie to you. They are kind of difficult. So let's go ahead and put your hand in here, sir. So he comes with these two flat paws for running, and you can get him in a bear pose like that. So that's what we're going to do now. We just got to attach these really tough joints for his hands. And I appreciate the fact that they are tough joints for the hands. It means they're not going to just fall off on you while you're holding a retro Cobra Trooper upside down and fleecing him for all his lunch money. Now let's come over here and put that socket in there. Give it a good shove. Oh, man. Those hands don't ever want to like just snap into place, but it does make it easier to remove the flat hands. So let's go ahead and get him in position for being a bear, and doing like a charge run thing. And this is, of course, not an actual owlbear. This is the Druid from the Dungeons and Dragons movie in bear form. Let's go ahead and see that hand didn't actually click into place like it should have, because it's just a very difficult connection there. All right, so let's try it again. There it goes. Now we're in. Now we're cooking with fuel. Okay, let's go ahead and pull your knees around. Still keep them kind of bent. Let's raise your body up just a bit. Level it out. Move that around. Okay, and then we've got this paw here. And yeah, there he is in charge mode, where he can run around on the ground and be a bear with this crazy mouth. Let's see. We're gonna go attack Cream. All right. Clunk, 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 clunk. He doesn't care. No, nothing from Cream. He is not threatened by the owlbear. He is not threatened by the owlbear one bit. But if you were a 20-pound orange cat, I don't think you would be threatened by this little bitty owlbear in comparison to you. So my overall thoughts and feelings on this owlbear is that if you're like me and absolutely love Dungeons and Dragons monsters, then this is a good pick for you. I'm going to give the owlbear an 8 out of 10. I think they could have done a little better with the paintwork, maybe use different textured paints to symbolize the feathers just a bit more, and I think they could have done a bit more with the joints. I know they were working very hard there to make him as sturdy as possible, but it's just this core. I wish they had shaved more weight down in the core, because he is a beast. Like, he weighs half a pound, it feels like. So that is something I wish they had managed to figure out a way to shave more plastic off in the core to give this guy a more balanced feel, so he doesn't just topple over forwards if you bend his arms wrong. Yeah, that's an amazing figure, and I do hope that the Golden Collection makes more monsters. Hasbro makes more Dungeons and Dragons monsters, because The Dungeons and Dragons monsters are where it's at. I don't care about the rogues, the assassins, the warriors, the wizards, the sorcerers, the rogues. I think I said rogues. Whatnot. I don't care about all that stuff. You know, the player characters are one thing, and that's cool and all. But honestly, it's in the monsters. And I know this isn't even technically a monster. This is a druid pretending to be a monster by using shapecraft or shapeform. I forget the name of it. Wild form maybe. But it still stands that I've got the cube, the slime cube, which is or gelatinous cube, which is just great. And now I have an owlbear, and I just found out that they did do a beholder, and it's the beholder with the goldfish. And I can never remember the goldfish's name, and I keep wanting to call the beholder Xerxes, but that's not his name. So I am going to. My roommate just got that item, and I do intend to do a video about him this week because I think that is just one of the more fun, big, bad guys, or big bad evil guys in the in Dungeons and Dragons because he's just got that little adorable little goldfish. He loves his goldfish. So that's a fun one. And I love the monsters like that in Dungeons and Dragons that speak to the comedy of Dungeons and Dragons. Like we can be serious, we can be spooky, but we can also, just a sprinkle of comedy in there, just a little bit of laughs, and I love it. It's wonderful, and I really enjoyed this owlbear, and I think he'd make a great addition to the collection for some fun monster activity. If you want more fun monsters, well, here's to Hasbro making some more fun monsters for Dungeons and Dragons because they've got books upon books of fun monsters, and I would like to see more. I would love to get a 1/12 scale Mind Flayer. That would be fun. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. I hope that you've enjoyed the show. I hope that this helped you understand a bit more about what this owlbear is all about, and I hope this has helped you make a decision on whether or not to get your own. I found mine at Ollie's. There's a lot of them at Ollie's. So if you want a 1/12 scale owlbear, go to Ollie's and get yourself one. Thanks again for watching. Until next Prime, I've been Fly Prime, and this big orange blob in the corner of the screen has been Cream the Cat. Bye-bye for now.